Hey YouTube, this is Nia Tate. We are back with Raising Kanan, Season 5, Episode 1. Now, this is the final season of Raising Kanan, so I'm sure they're going to wrap up a lot of storylines. These 5 seasons have gone really, really quickly. So, first off, let me just say this. I have never, ever, ever seen it for Kanan. I don't like him. I think he's slow. I think he's dumb. I don't know. I don't know if it's the character that play him or what, but I cannot take him serious as some kind of like kingpin because he's so stupid. And Rock just goes behind him and cleans everything up, and then he tries to act all tough, and then he can't stand her. But I will say, I get the whole psychological part of it that he was brought into this game, and when he wanted to go to school away, Rocks didn't want him to go. Like, girl, so you done pretty much created this monster. Something is wrong with him. Okay. So we start the episode off where we ended last season, the finale where Kanan is mad at Raquel and he's holding a gun on her, and he found out about Sergeant Howard. He done found out all kind of stuff that Roxton done, and he is like, I have to stop you because you're a poison. So she's, Rock standing there like the G she is. She ain't begging him for her life. She's like, you know, just standing there. And next thing we hear is um Lou. Lou comes in and he's like, hey, stop, stop. And what's going on, whatever. I don't know if he knows what's going on, but then um the security came in and he shot because he's with Lou, and he shot. He said he wasn't gonna shoot at Kane. He was just trying to scan. Kanan turns around and pops 2 bullets off, and y'all, he shoot Lou. He shoots Lou, y'all, twice in the chest. Stupid. Can't stand. And Lou go down. And y'all, I am so upset because Lou is my favorite person on the cast. I'm so mad. Oh my gosh. I was like, I almost turned it off. I was like, I'm not watching this no more because Lou is my boy. So they Rox runs to him and tells him to breathe, but it's obvious he bleeding out. I mean, Dum Dum done shot him in the chest. Like, just stupid. And so here go Rox. She tell Kanan to leave. She say, leave, Kanan, so she can clean this up. And if you so big, bad, and tough, you surely left. There's another I can't stand him. Anyway, so Lou was there and he bleeds out, and next thing we know, we see Rox and the security guy. I think his name is Ruben, the big security guy. They are somewhere out and they dumping Lou body, and he's laying there, and I'm like, oh, maybe he's not really dead. I was like, maybe he ain't really dead. But we see a scene next with Laverne and her dad Marvin, and she's like, I've been Kanan was talking crazy about his mom last night, and so I talked to Uncle Lou, and I told him about it, and he said he was gonna go over to the house you know, to see what was going on. She said, I can't, I haven't heard from Kanan or Uncle Lou. I can't get nobody to call me back. So she said, have you heard from, Uncle Lou? And so Marvin was like, no, I ain't talked to him. So next thing, there's a knock on the door, and it's the police. And they come in and they ask him, because first, Marvin like, what's going on? Because Marvin into all kind of stuff. He don't know if they did arrest him or what, but they ask him, is Lou his brother? And he says yes. And then we see him, he has to go down to identify the body. And y'all, Lou is gone, y'all. Lou gone. Ain't nobody tell me nothing. Lord have mercy. They showed him on the table, and he had to identify him. And it was so sad when he came out. Laverne had stayed in the car, so Marvin came out, and he was just like zoned out. So he gets in the car, and he just sitting there. She's like, so was it him? And he said, yeah, it was him. And he started crying, and she started crying, and I start crying, girl. I was like, no, Kanan. And then Kanan gonna say, um, Kanan gonna say, you know, in life, what did he say? Something stupid. Oh, in life, I don't have no regrets. Well, they did the over, how they do it for this show, like the voiceover. It says, Kanan, I don't have no regrets in my life. Uh, just that is just things that are uncomfortable and don't go away. So you really don't, because he act like he didn't care when he did it. And that's what I say. I think Kanan is a sociopath, but we know the stuff that he did, and so that's why it was so easy. If y'all watch Power, that's why it was so easy for him to kill his son. He didn't kill people that he loved because he did like Lou, and kept moving over. So killing Sean wasn't nothing but a thing. Sociopath. Anyway, so we see the commissioner. We see down at the police station, the commissioner's cleaning out his desk because he done got fired. Sergeant Howard is dead, and ain't nobody know. They whole case done blew up. Um, that other girl, the other lady cop, she got killed, and then Sergeant Howard got killed. So he's telling his replacement to do whatever he can do to try to find out who killed Sergeant Howard. Well, not his name, some detective that worked there. And so he is going to try to push up on Laverne to try to find out, what happened, which not going to work because Laverne is a G. So next we see Unique. And I forgot that the finale that Lou and Marvin and them had took Unique girl and their baby, and they had hid them in this warehouse in the back of a mall or something. So Unique is looking around, looking for his baby. So he go to Lou's this girl that Lou's got a contract with, singing contract with, and he asking questions. And so she said, I haven't seen him. I'm looking for him too. And the last place I saw him, she said about that mall. She had met him down there for something. So then that's why where he knows where to go find go look for uh, his girl and the baby. So then we see Marvin talking to Raquel. He got to break the news to her. Of course, she already knows. So she's sitting there, and y'all, Marvin is messed up. Marvin is towed down because Lou is his boy. I feel so bad for him. He already not he already a little loose in the got some marbles loose. This done turned him all the way because he trying to find out who did this. And so he blamed it on Unique. And so he'll, Rock's going along with the program. Yeah, Unique probably the one did it. And so he's like, well, where's the girl and the baby? And she said, don't do it. You can't do this, Marvin. Like, cause he was gonna go over there and hurt them because he feel that Unique killed Lou. So she finally does tell him, but he Marvin is like, you taking this a whole lot better than I thought you would because you're not crying and all of that. And she said, don't tell me how to hurt. You can't tell people how to hurt. But he did notice it. So um meanwhile, Unique um went to the mall, that old mall, and he killed a security guard, the guy that was there that was supposed to be watching them, and he found his girl and the baby, so he has her. Um, so Laverne is talking to Kanan. I guess she breaking the news to him, like Marvin broke the news to rocks, and he just emotionalist, and Laverne, because she hurt too, she loved her Uncle Lou, and she said, I just, even with everything that we go through, I just felt like we were untouchable. And he's okay, and nobody's untouchable. Stupid. So next we see Breeze. He talking to Snap and Pop. That's his aunt, uncle and aunt. And so they done put him on. He's supposed to be like one of the new kingpins that's coming on, along with it's supposed to be Breeze, Unique, and Kanan. And they supposed to be taking over the area, uh, and start selling their product. So I could see. So Breeze is who Tommy and Ghost used to work for. So I could see how Tommy and Ghost got Breeze. I don't. I think Breeze ended up dead, maybe, and then that's when Kanan went to prison. Yeah, I see how Tommy and Ghost got over because Breeze is a hothead. He almost as bad as Kanan. Okay, I think he may be a little crazier than Kanan, but he's a hothead. He ain't smart at all. So he's sitting there talking to Snap and Pop, and he like, well, yeah, I'm cool with Kanan, but this unique dude, I don't know why we got to even work with him. And they were saying because he still has, a bunch of the corners and a lot of guys that work for him. And if they try to take over, then it's gonna be a war, and they don't really need to do all that. We just try to make this money out. We trying to make this money. And see, that's another thing I don't understand. Like, where Kanan get this street cred from? Like, Breeze to all mine working with Kanan. Kanan ain't nobody. Who? Why is Kanan supposed to be so tough? Unique is way harder than Kanan. So we see a little scene where the cop is following Laverne, asking her about Captain Howard. She's like, I don't know nothing, and I don't really want to be bothered. He said, "Oh, I've been playing nice cop, but I'm fixing to play uh, bad cop. I'm fixing to play bad cop for you." And she like, "Yeah, whatever." So Unique went over to one of the kingpins. I don't forgot who it was, and this Italian dude, and he asking him, "Did they kill Lou?" And he like, "Nah, I ain't nothing to do with that." He said, "Cause you know, Unique is concerned because he's like, this gonna come back on me. I didn't even do it, and I know they're gonna try to, Marvin and they now I'm in danger. My girl, they already done kidnapped them, So the guy's like, nah, I ain't had nothing to do with that, and basically told him he ain't care. So Marvin is still looking for Unique. He went over there to that like barbershop thing they usually be in, him and his guys. He broke in there. He tore the whole space up. Marvin was on a rampage looking for him. Um, then Rock go to see some kingpin, a guy, I don't know his name, that she had made a deal with last season to get her product, and she fell short. She didn't she wasn't able to deliver on what she asked for more time, in other words. And so he's like, um I don't like when people don't um excuse me, when people don't give up, when people don't deliver on their promises. But when she was going there, she saw some woman coming out of the house, and the woman was getting into a taxi. So Rox pick up her stuff real quick. So I think she might, I don't know, there's some reason that they had that scene. So I think she might kidnap that lady or go talk to her, something, to get what she want. Um, so Snap and Pop go over to visit Unique after they find out, that his place has got towed up, because they still trying to convince him to work with Breeze. He not necessarily on board with it. He like, because Unique used to having his own territory, his own space. But it makes sense, especially now since Roxy and them, is after him. So next, we see a scene with Breeze. He's out somewhere in the hood, and they having like a fight between guys, like kind of like a gladiator underground type of fight. and he tells this one dude, like he's sort of fighting, and the guy beat the dude, and he's like, "Nah, I need you to finish him. That's not how it work around here. Two walk in, and only one gonna walk out." He said, "If you don't finish him, then I will. I'm gonna finish you." Is what he told him. And so Kanan is there, kind of lurking in the background, and then we hear the voiceover that say that, "Oh, um, this guy right here, I've never seen somebody um as crazy and not caring as him." I guess I don't know the little actor that they got playing Breeze. I'm not impressed. He don't seem scary to me. I don't know. They could have. I don't know. I don't know about this casting. I guess we'll see. I mean, he do seem a little, like I said, he just seemed like a hothead. Like he not strategic or smart like Ghost and Tommy, how they were. This little guy is not it. I could definitely see somebody getting over on him. So we see Nick and his girl, they're talking, they're back at home. And rightly so, she is worried and scared because she like, Lou is gone dead now. They're gonna come back over here and they gonna kill him. You know, and he like, oh, you know what the game is, this is my lifestyle. You've been knowing it ever since I met you, that this is the life I live. And she said, yeah, but we didn't have a baby then. We have a baby now. We have other things to think about. And so then we see a scene later on with her and the baby. They're gone away somewhere. And she begged him to come with him. She's like, why don't you just come with us? He's like, nah, I need to finish, I have business here. You should have went. You definitely should have went. And I was so nervous. I was like, she was kissing on him and hugging on him and stuff. I was like, girl, get in that car. Oh, they come and shoot. Because I just knew somebody was gonna come through there and start shooting. But they made it out of there. Now, whether they're gonna be safe wherever they're going, I don't know. Because like I say, Marvin is not playing. Then we see Tony Danza. I don't know his the name on this show, but y'all know who Tony Danza is. He's the big from back in the day. That's his real name, the actor. So he's still in the hospital because Phil Russell and his people, he had went to see them on the episode last finale, and he got stabbed. So Tony Danza, he in the hospital, he got all of his guys around him, and he said he ready to go to war with Russo. And I think Russo and them, I might be wrong, but I think Russo is where Snap and Pop getting their product from, because Unique asked Breeze, and Breeze kind of just, I don't even know if Breeze know. He probably don't even know where they're getting it from. But yeah, so that's gonna be a big war between uh, Tony Danza and then the Phil Russo guy. Um, and Rox used to work for Tony Danza and them, but I think she tried to move over to Phil Russo. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, next we see Luke funeral. Y'all are so sad. Everybody there. The girl, what's her name? What's his name, sister? Y'all know what I'm talking about if you watch the show. She there. She looked really good. Uh, the lady that owned the club that was really supportive of him, she's there. Uh, Kata sitting up there all mad, looking all mad and evil. And then Marvin get up there. Marvin say, I know this a church and all, but I'm gonna find the MFers who killed my brother. He in there cursing and everything there. And he's so upset. Then Rock get up there, she give her little speech, about, how much she loved her brother, and we will never know what type of father he could have been, and all this. The whole time Kana just sitting there like it's a regular day. Then we see Unique go over to talk to Breeze. They finally meet, and you could tell it's some tension between them, because Breeze talking about, yeah, I see you done took my style, and then you say, man, I ain't to take nothing. I am the style. I said, I know that's right. I always did like Unique. Um, so they sit down and they talk, and Unique is like, yeah, so this gonna be like a partnership, right? And you don't work for me, I don't work for you. And he said, yeah, that's right. That's how the money, we're gonna make this money. So the three is supposed to be Breeze, Unique, and Kanan. And so at the end of the episode, we see it's the end of the funeral. Everybody's coming out, and Marvin is standing there talking with Laverne and the lady that had the club and stuff. And then we see Kanan is walking away. He getting in his car, and here come Roxy. She hollered. She said, Kanan. And she went over and talked to him. She said, you ain't even called to see about me. You didn't call to check. I haven't heard from you since it happened. And he's like, you want me to say I'm sorry? Because I'm not. And so she said, listen, we are done. I am done with you. This hurt me so bad that there's no coming back from this. And he's like, and so she said, I'm not, you never had an enemy like me, Kanan. Never. So um, he's like, yeah, whatever. And he gets in the car. I hope she mean it this time. Stop cleaning up his mess because he's stupid. Every time he do something dumb, you clean it up, and that's why he ain't. And I think that's why he gonna end up in prison. Because those of us who watch Power know that that's at some point he ends up in prison for a long time, and I think that's when Ghost and Tommy and them had set him up. So he gonna get his. So overall, it was a really good first episode. I'm gonna give it an A. I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do for this season, but this episode was good. But I'm still upset about Lou. Rest in peace, Lulu. We gonna miss you. Thanks for listening to my review. I'll be back here next week with the second episode of season 5. You all have a great day. I'm out.